Long ago, in the heart of Africa, under the vast and starry skies, there was a village nestled by a great river. The people of this village were known for their wisdom, their deep connection to the land, and the way they honored the spirits of their ancestors. They lived in harmony with nature, their lives marked by rhythms of the seasons, the songs of the wind, and the wisdom passed down through generations. In the time when the world was quiet, and the rains had come, the village began to buzz with excitement. The elders spoke of a prophecy that had been passed down for centuries. "A child will be born among us," they said, "and this child will bring peace, love, and light to all the nations of the earth. He will be the hope for the future, the savior of the world." The prophecy spread through the land like a whisper in the wind, reaching the ears of all who lived under the African sky. People traveled from far and wide, guided by the brightest star they had ever seen, which appeared one night in the heavens. The star shone like a beacon of hope, lighting up the skies and guiding those who were destined to find the new king. In a small village, not far from the great river, there lived a young woman named Nia. Nia was from a humble family, but her heart was full of kindness and grace. She lived with her husband, Kofi, a skilled carpenter. Nia was deeply devoted to the traditions of her people, but her heart always felt a sense of longing for something greater, something beyond the earthly world. One evening, as Nia was sitting under a great baobab tree, she heard a soft whisper in the wind. It was not a voice she had heard before, but the words were familiar. "Fear not, Nia, for you have been chosen to bring forth the one who will bring light to the world. You will carry a child who will be known as the Savior." Nia's heart raced with awe and confusion. The spirit that spoke to her was clear and peaceful, yet the weight of the message left her breathless. "How can this be?" she asked in a trembling voice. "I am but a humble woman, and I have not yet become a mother." The spirit replied, "Trust in the ways of the Creator. This child will come into your world with great love, and you will teach the people to love one another as they love themselves." As the days passed, Nia and Kofi prepared for the arrival of the child. The village gathered to support them, sharing their resources and offering prayers for the little one. The women of the village wove blankets from the finest cloth, and the men constructed a small wooden cradle, as strong as the tree from which it was made. One evening, as the night fell over the village, Nia went into labor. The night sky above was filled with twinkling stars, and the river flowed gently, as if the world itself was holding its breath. With Kofi by her side, Nia gave birth to a son. His skin was as dark as the night, and his eyes sparkled with a wisdom that seemed far beyond his years. The moment the child was born, a great light filled the sky, brighter than the sun. The villagers, who had gathered outside, watched in awe as the heavens opened and the spirit of the ancestors appeared in the form of a glowing figure. "This is the one we have waited for," the spirit proclaimed, "the Savior, the Son of the Creator, the one who will bring peace and love to all nations." The elders of the village, wise and old, stepped forward, and with reverence, they knelt before the child. "This is the promise fulfilled," they said. "The spirit of Christmas has come to us." From every corner of the land, people traveled to see the child. Shepherds, who watched their flocks near the river, were the first to come. They had been the first to see the lights in the sky and had heard the call of the ancestors to visit the newborn king. They brought gifts of fruit, herbs, and honey from the riverbank, offering them to the child with joy. From the distant hills, 3 wise men arrived, bearing gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. They were known throughout the land for their knowledge of the stars and the mysteries of the world. Following the star that led them to the village, they offered their treasures to the child, recognizing him as the king of all the earth. As they gathered around Nia and Kofi, the people of the village joined them in celebration. The children danced in the streets, their bare feet tapping in rhythm with the beating drums. The women sang songs of joy, while the men raised their voices in praise. The great baobab tree seemed to shimmer with life, its branches swaying in tune with the melody of the celebration. The baby Jesus, as he was called, was not just a child. He was a symbol of love, unity, and hope for all people, from the smallest villages to the farthest lands. His birth was the beginning of a new era, where the spirit of Christmas, the spirit of giving, love, and peace, would spread far and wide, across nations and generations. As the night drew to a close, the village was quiet once again. Nia and Kofi stood together, holding their newborn son, as the stars above twinkled like the light of the world. And in the stillness of that sacred moment, the ancestors' voices whispered in the wind, "This is the spirit of Christmas, a gift to all the world, born under the African sky." From that day forward, the people of the village carried the story of the Savior with them, passing it down through the generations. And each Christmas, they would gather to remember the night when the child was born, and the spirit of love and unity filled the world.